Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighters Anthology as we continue with the reference materials. Today we will be going over the F-22 and depending on what they have for entries, possibly, okay, so they just have the F-22A. As I know in like Quick Mission you have the F-22N that was introduced in US out of 97 that was supposed to be a navalized version of the F-22 that was proposed for the Naval Advanced Tactical Fighter competition, but eventually that was canceled due to cost and end of the Cold War. So today we will go over the Lockheed F-22, titled Lockheed Martin 645. Oh, that's their internal designation. Okay. Lockheed Martin 645, U.S. Air Force designation F-22. Type U.S. Air Force Next Generation Tactical Fighter, formerly known as Advanced Tactical Fighter or ATF Program. U.S. Air Force ATF requirement for 750, now 442. And, I think it ended up being like around 182, I think, ended up being the final number built. But McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle replacements incorporating low observable technology and supersonic cruise without afterburning. Parallel assessment of two new power plants, requests for information issued 1981, concept definition studies awarded September 1983 to Boeing, General Dynamics, Grumman, McDonnell Douglas, Northrop, and Rockwell. Requests for proposals issued September 1985, submissions received by 28th of July 1986. United States Air Force selection announced 31st October 1986 of demonstration validation phase contractors Lockheed YF-22 and Northrop YF-23. See 1991-1992 Janes. Each produced two prototypes and ground-based avionics testbed. First flights of all four prototypes 1990 competing engine demonstration validation programs launched September 1983. Ground testing began 1986 to 1987. Flight-capable Pratt & Whitney YF-119 and General Electric YF-120s ordered early 1988, all four aircraft engine combinations flown. Lockheed teamed with General Dynamics of Fort Worth and Boeing military airplanes to produce two YF-22 prototypes. Civil registrations N-22YF with the GE YF-120 and N-22YX with the Pratt & Whitney YF-119. USAF serial numbers 87-0700 and 87-0701 assigned, but only 87-0701 applied during the second phase of testing from late 1991. N-22YF rolled out at Palmdale 29th of August 1990, first flight and ferried to Edwards Air Force Base 29th of September 1990. First air refueling, 11th sortie, 26th of October 1990. Thrust vectoring in flight 15th of November 1990, anti-spin parachute for high angle of attack tests on 34th to 43rd sorties. Flight testing temporarily suspended 28th of December 1990. 43 sorties in 52 hours and 48 minutes. N-22YX first flight Palmdale Edwards 30th of October 1990. AIM-9M Sidewinder 28th of November 1990, and AIM-120A AMRAAM, 20th of December 1990. Launch demonstrations achieved Mach 1.8 on 26th of December 1990. Temporarily grounded after 31 sorties in 38 hours, 48 minutes. 28th of December 1990 flight test demonstrations included 100 degree per second roll rate at 120 knots or 222 kilometers per hour or 138 miles per hour, and super cruise flight in excess of Mach 1.58 without afterburner. The second F-119 powered YF-22 taken by road to Palmdale mid-1991, fitted with strain gauges, began further 100-hour test program 30th of October 1991. Gathered data on aerodynamic loads, flight control aerodynamic effects, vibration acoustic fatigue, and maximum coefficient of lift, flown by 6,511th Test Squadron F-22 Combined Task Force of the 6,510th Test Wing at Edwards Air Force Base. Non-fatal crash landing at Edwards 25th of April 1992 following pilot-induced oscillations. Total 100 hours, 24 minutes, and 70 flights since October of 1990. Non-flyable but prepared for use as antenna testbed at Rome Air Development Center, Griffiths Air Force Base, New York. Fabrication of first component for first EMD aircraft, CN 4001, began 8th of December 1993 at Boeing's facility in Kent, Washington. Assembly of forward fuselage launched at Marietta on 2nd November 1995, with start of work on nose landing gear well. Assembly work also begun at Fort Worth, summer of 1995, with mating of 3 assemblies that comprised the mid-fuselage of first EMD aircraft taking place in spring of 1996, followed by road transfer of entire section to Marietta in August 1996 for start of final assembly process. First flight planned May of 1997, low rate production decision in August of 1998, first production delivery August of 2000, high rate production decision due March of 2002. Design features: low observables, configuration and construction, stealth agility trade-off decided by design team, target thrust weight ratio 1.4, achieve ratio 1.2 at takeoff weight, greatly improved reliability and maintainability for high sortie rate generations, high sortie generation rates including under 20-minute combat turnaround time, enhanced survivability through first look, first shot, first kill capability, short takeoff and landing distances, supersonic cruise and maneuvering, super cruise in region of Mach 1.5 without afterburning, internal weapon storage and generous internal fuel conformal sensors. Excuse me. Highly integrated avionics for single pilot operation and rapid reaction. Radar, RWR, and comms ident managed by a single system presenting relevant data only, and with emissions controlled passive to fully active in stages according to tactical situation. Common integrated processor, CIP, handles all avionics functions, including self-protection and radio, and automatically reconfigures to compensate for faults and failures. F-22 has 2 CIPs with space for a third, linked by 400 megabit per second fiber optic network, see avionics. Wing and horizontal tail leading edge sweep 42 degrees, both 48 degrees on the YF-22, trailing edge 17 degrees forward, increase to 42 degrees outboard of ailerons, straight trailing edge on YF-22, all moving 5-edged horizontal tail, 4-edged elements on YF-22, vertical tail surfaces 22% larger on the YF-22, canted outwards at 28 degrees, leading and trailing edge sweep 22.9 degrees, biconvex aerofoil. F-22's wing and stabilizer areas, same as YF-22 despite reprofiling. F-22 wing taper ratio 0.169, leading edge and hedral 3.25 degrees, root twist 0.5 degrees, tip twist negative 3.1 degrees, thickness chord ratio 5.92 at root, 4.29 at tip. Custom designed aerofoil, horizontal tails have no dihedral or twist. Sidewinder air-to-air missiles stored internally in sides of intake ducts with AMRAAM sidewinders or GBU-32 JDAM 1000 precision-guided munitions in ventral weapons bay. Diamond-shaped cheek air intakes with highly contoured air ducts, intakes approximately 0.46 meters or 1 feet 6 inches further forward on the YF-22. Single-axis thrust vectoring included on the Pratt & Whitney 119, but most specified performance achievable without. Additional production F-22 changes from YF-22 include decreased wing root thickness, modified camber and twist, increasing anhedral. All 48-degree plan angles changed to 42 degrees, blunter nose, wheelbase reduced by approximately 0.46 meters or 1 feet 6 inches, wheel track reduced by same, revised undercarriage legs and doors, constant chord ailerons, reprofiled cockpit canopy, and dorsal air brake deleted. Landing gear. Minesco retractable tricycle type, stressed for no-flare landings of up to 3.05 meters or 10 feet per second. Nose wheel tire 23.5 by 7.5-10, main wheel tires 37 by 11.5-18. Power plant, 2 155 kilonewton or 35,000 pound force, class Pratt & Whitney F119-PW-100 advanced technology reheated engines reportedly developed from F100 turbofan. 2-dimensional convergent divergent exhaust nozzles with thrust vectoring for enhanced performance and maneuverability. Accommodation, pilot only, on 00 modified ACES-2 ejection seat and wearing tactical life support system with improved G-suits, pressure breathing, and arm restraint. Pilot's view over nose is negative 15 degrees. Systems include normal air Garrett OBOGS, Allied Signal APU, and Smith's 270-volt DC electrical distribution system. Avionics, final integration as well as integration of entire suite with non-avionic systems undertaken at F-22 Avionics Integration Laboratory, Seattle, Washington. Airborne integration supported by Boeing 757 Flying Testbed, High Fidelity Full Mission Simulation or FMS, for Integrated System Pilot Vehicle Interface, PVI, evaluations, avionics development and mission effectiveness assessment, comms, TRW Communications Navigations Identification System, including the Mark 12 IFF. Radar, Westinghouse, Texas Instruments, ANAPG 77 electronically scanned radar, air-to-air and navigation. Flight, TRW Communication Navigation Identification Subsystem. Lit and Inertial Reference System. Instrumentation, fused situational awareness information is displayed to pilot via 4 Sanders-Kaiser color liquid crystal multifunction displays, or MFD. MFD bezel buttons provide pilot format control. Mission, Hughes Common Integrated Processor, or CIP. CIP also contains mission software that uses tailorable mission planning data for sensor emitter management and multi-sensor fusion. Mission-specific information delivered to system through Fairchild data transfer equipment that also contains storage for default data and air vehicle operational flight program and stores management system. General purpose processing capacity of CIP is rated at more than 700 million instructions per second, or MIPS, with growth to 2,000 MIPS. Signal processing capacity greater than 20 billion operations per second, or POPs, with extension capability to 50 POPs. CIP contains more than 300 megabytes of memory with growth potential to 650 megabytes. Intraflight Data Link automatically shares tactical information between 2 or more F-22s. Airframe contains provisions for IRST and side-mounted phased array radar. Self-defense Sanders General Electric AN/ALR-94 electronic warfare, RF warning, and countermeasures subsystem. Armament. Internal long-barreled M61A2 20mm cannon with hinged muzzle cover and 480-round magazine capacity for the production F-22. 3 internal bays. See design features for AIM-9 Sidewinder, 1 in each side bay, and or 4 AIM-120A or 6 AIM-120C AMRAAM air-to-air missiles, and or GBU-32 JDAM precision-guided munitions on hydraulic weapons racks in main weapons bay. 4 underwing storage stations at 317mm or 125 inches and 442mm or 174 inches from centerline of fuselage, capable of carrying 2,268 kilograms or 5,000 pounds each. Dimensions: external wingspan YF-22 13.11 meters or 43 feet 0 inches, F-22 13.56 meters or 44 feet 6 inches. Length overall: YF-22 19.56 meters or 64 feet 2 inches, F-22 18.92 meters or 62 feet 1 inch. Height overall: YF-22 5.41 meters or 17 feet 9 inches, F-22 5.05 meters or 16 feet and 7 inches. Areas: wings gross, YF-22 and F-22 78 meters squared or 840 square feet. Weights and loadings estimated: weight empty YF-22 over 13,608 kilograms or 30,000 pounds. F-22 target 14,365 kilograms or 31,670 pounds. Max takeoff weight F-22 almost 27,216 kilograms or 60,000 pounds. Performance: YF-22 demonstrated max level speed supercruise Mach 1.58 with afterburning Mach 1.7 at 9,150 meters or 30,000 feet. Sailing 15,240 meters or 50,000 feet. G-limit plus 7.9. Performance: F-22A design target estimated max level speed at sea level 800 knots, 1,482 kilometers or 921 miles per hour. G-limit plus 9. Length 19.56 meters, height 5.41 meters, wingspan 13.11 meters. Max takeoff weight 27,216 kilograms. Max level speed in knots 1,044. Here we can see the 3D view in-game, which is very familiar to us as we ran at least 1 or 2 campaigns with it, I think. Yeah, 2 campaigns. It would have been one of our primary aircraft. And then there were a couple missions in the Ukraine campaign where we use the navalized version. And you can see here's the so here's the side weapon space. You can tell they're shorter than the main weapon space here, and then the cannon is a pop out. I think, what was it, on the starboard side? It's a little pop out like right there, which you can see if you ever go to an air show like EAA Air Venture. You can see these not super up close. They make you keep your distance from the F-22 and the F-35, which makes sense because they probably don't want anyone scraping off the radar absorbent material on the skin, you know, because then enemies could analyze it, make their own, or develop a countermeasure to it. But you can still see a lot of detail. And it looks like we have 2 videos, so we will start with the design video.
Dawn, the 29th of September, 1990. Test pilot Dave Ferguson taxied the first prototype YF-22 onto the runway at Lockheed's Palmdale, California facility. Almost 10 years earlier, the U.S. Air Force had formally identified the need for a new air superiority fighter to replace its venerable but aging F-15. Lockheed Martin Aeronautical Systems and Boeing's Military Airplanes Division first joined forces in 1986 for the Advanced Tactical Fighter, or ATF, competition. The team was eventually selected the winner by the Air Force on April 23, 1991, and awarded a $9.55 billion Engineering and Manufacturing Development, or EMD, contract. And on that day in September, as the sleek warplane lifted off into the early morning, a new age of advanced tactical fighters was born. During this initial phase, 2 prototype engine designs were also tested, and the new Pratt & Whitney F-119 engine was selected to power the F-22. Prior to winning the competition, the F-22 team conducted a 54-month program involving the design, construction, and flight testing of 2 prototypes. The second fighter left Palmdale a month after the first and flew to the Air Force Flight Test Center at Edwards Air Force Base. The current EMD phase of the program will last until the year 2002. 9 aircraft, including 2 tandem-seat F-22Bs, will be built and flown, the first flight scheduled for May 1997. The Air Force plans to procure 442 F-22s, achieving operational capability with the fighter by 2004. The F-22 will counter the increasing sophistication and threat of hostile air forces and integrated air defense systems in use around the world. Threats that the F-15 will no longer be able to counter will be defeated by the lethal and survivable F-22, with its balance of supercruise speed, range, enhanced avionics, and stealth. This fighter will provide air superiority for U.S. forces well into the 21st century.
Unfortunately, at this rate, it's probably going to be phased out shortly after the F-15 once the next generation air dominance fighter gets off the ground, just because there's so few of them. But it is still the premier air-to-air fighter of the world. And now for our special flight maneuvers video.
Powered by twin Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines, which are rated in the 35,000-pound thrust class, the F-22 is lightning fast and maneuverable, and will provide a first-look, first-shot, first-kill capability through the use of stealth and advanced sensors. The F-22's advanced airframe design, control surfaces, vectored thrust engines, and integrated avionics will give its pilots an edge in close combat. Thrust vectoring allows for quicker, tighter turns, short takeoffs and landings, and superior combat maneuvers. The F-22 will cruise at sustained supersonic speeds without using afterburners, a capability known as supercruise. This reduces the aircraft's infrared signature and greatly expands the F-22's operating envelope over current fighters in both speed and range. The F-22 will carry a full complement of medium and short-range air-to-air armaments, all in internal bays. These include radar-guided AIM-120 medium-range missiles, heat-seeking short-range AIM-9 sidewinders, and an internal 20mm Gatling-type gun. In addition, the F-22 will have an inherent ground attack capability, as it can carry internally 2 1,000-pound Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or JDAMs. Other significant milestones achieved during prototype testing were a successful deployment and release of the spin chute, and high alpha testing, during which the F-22 demonstrated an unprecedented 60-degree angle of attack without loss of control. stealth, speed, agility, advanced integrated avionics, and armament. The F-22 has the muscle to sustain sortie rates twice those of the aircraft it is designed to replace. It provides an unstoppable force, ensuring future victory for the U.S. Armed Forces. The F-22 is premier American technology committed to excellence for air domination in the 21st century.
All right. So that will conclude our video today. Let's see. Probably, yeah, we're getting into some other stuff next time, but looking forward to that. And at this rate, I think we'll probably be through the bulk of the American fighters soon, and we'll get to see all the other foreign ones and see what what James has to say about them, or at least what they had to say about them back in 1999. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there. We'll see you then.